The PlayStation was launched in Japan in late 1994 and globally the following year. In a time when online gaming wasn't as widespread and easily accessible as it is now. It wasn't long before the best PS1 fighting games started making their mark. Now, we are well aware that the PlayStation 1 was a groundbreaking console for the genre, as it gave rise to some of the games and franchises that would eventually become titans in the contemporary fighting game landscape. It's hardly surprising that the graphics of most PS1 fighting games appear dated now, but the gameplay in some of them remains enjoyable even today. Iconic titles like Tekken and Street Fighter had remarkable entries for the once cutting-edge console. The question is, which fighting games continue to meet the standards and expectations of modern gamers in terms of technical gameplay, visuals, and dynamic combat? Bloody Roar. Fighting games often feature unique characters or intense creature-to-creature combat, but it's a whole new level of excitement when characters morph into half-human, half-creature hybrids to shift the balance of the battle. In the story, warriors known as zoanthropes battle against the Tylon Corporation to prevent them from using zoanthropes as mind-controlled weapons. Although Bloody Roar follows the typical fighting game formula, it seamlessly integrates the transformation component. Players must fill up their beast indicators before they can transform. And each transformation grants extra attacks, increased weight, and a broader range of combat options until the beast indicator is fully depleted. This transformation mechanic makes Bloody Roar a highly enjoyable title even amidst the presence of faster-paced fighting games. Tekken 2. The Tekken series is renowned for its fast-paced, smooth close-quarter combats, and Tekken 2 proudly upholds this legacy. As a sequel, it checks all the boxes you'd hope for, such as maintaining the core elements that made the original a hit, enhancing the graphics, introducing a plethora of new levels, characters, moves, and combos. With fluid and detailed graphics as well as perfectly balanced controls, even the newcomers can dive in and start doling out some serious damage. Tekken 2 also introduced counter throws, enabling players to intercept opponents' attacks with a devastating throw. Overall, it strikes the perfect balance between simplicity and complexity, making for an exceptionally well-rounded game. Bushido Blade. Bushido Blade was a standout not only among its PS1 fighting game peers but also in comparison to today's fighting games. While most entries on the list rely on 2D sprites and levels, Bushido Blade broke the mold with its fully explorable 3D environments. Bucking the trend of traditional fighting games, Bushido Blade ditched health bars and time limits in favor of a unique body damage system. Instead of drawn-out battles, most hits in the game led to instant death during every match. However, it also allowed for wounding opponents, which could slow them down or even reduce them to crawling. Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes. In their early days, Capcom's Marvel fighters appeared on multiple gaming systems, and the PlayStation version occasionally faced technical challenges compared to its Sega, Saturn, and Dreamcast counterparts. Due to memory restrictions on the PlayStation, none of the various title versions included the arcade's tag team mode. In fact, X-Men Children of the Atom didn't reach the PSX until 2 years after its release on Saturn. However, Capcom's take on these games provided some of the most memorable visual and audio portrayals of Marvel's best characters. The core gameplay remains enjoyable even today, featuring impressively large sprites engaging in thrilling battles across entertaining locations. King of Fighters 98. King of Fighters 98 is a dream come true for hardcore fighting game enthusiasts. its deft and captivating combats are only rivaled by Street Fighter 2. This PS1 fighter boasts one of the most extensive and diverse character rosters, catering to different playstyles with zoning characters, brawlers, ranged attackers, and more. Uniquely, King of Fighters 98 is a team-based game, where players participate in 3 versus 3 battles against each other, or a CPU team, winning when the entire opposing team is defeated. For those who enjoy technical combat and are willing to invest time in perfecting their skills, this game is incredibly rewarding. In other words, practice and dedication make all the difference in King of Fighters 98. Guilty Gear. Arc System Works' flagship fighting game Guilty Gear was initially an underappreciated gem when it first graced the PlayStation. At a time when 3D fighting games were becoming the standard and 2D was losing ground, Guilty Gear ignited a new wave of fast-paced fighters inspired by popular shonen manga and anime tropes, complemented by an unexpected emphasis on world building and storytelling. By refining features popularized by games like King of Fighters and Street Fighter, Guilty Gear became a cult classic, celebrated for its intricate combo system and stunning art style. Today, it stands as one of the most popular anime-style fighting games. Dead or Alive. Today, Dead or Alive might be more recognized for its notorious jiggle physics and risque beach scenes. But the original game was among the finest fighting titles the PS1 had to offer. Although not the most technically intricate fighter, it was undeniably one of the most polished. Featuring smooth gameplay and sharp 3D graphics of its time, the game also presented a challenging AI that pushed players to plan their moves more carefully. Dead or Alive set itself apart with a diverse range of fighters, each possessing a distinct fighting style, and interactive danger zones within levels that inflicted additional damage. Destrega, 1998. In contrast to other games that encourage up-close and personal combat, Destrega emphasizes long-range, lethal attacks and interactive environments that keep you on edge. Indeed, players rely on projectile abilities rather than punches to defeat their opponents, as they battle for control over ancient relics harboring enigmatic power. While the game leans toward a sci-fi theme, our primary concern here is the gameplay. Boasting fluid moves, sharp graphics, and a highly enjoyable playing experience, the camera angle often positions itself slightly above the action, providing a subtle isometric perspective. This offers a refreshing change from Tekken and Street Fighter for those seeking something different. King of Fighters 2000. During the development of King of Fighters 2000, game publisher SNK found itself in a challenging situation, having recently filed for bankruptcy. This led to some lingering bugs and glitches as well as a polarizing approach to backgrounds and graphics. Nevertheless, many fighting game enthusiasts agree that SNK's enhancements to the characters and combat system made King of Fighters 2000 one of the best games in the series. Building on KOF 99's striker match format, the game introduces the active striker, allowing players to summon a striker member for assistance in any situation. Players can either handpick their striker member or opt for another striker, a character from other KOF and SNK games designated exclusively as a striker. These fresh options seamlessly blend with the tag team essence of King of Fighters 2000, adding numerous strategic layers to the battles. Soul Blade. Originally known as Soul Edge in arcades, this game transitioned to the PlayStation with a new name and numerous changes and enhancements that would later become hallmarks of the Soul Calibur franchise. Soul Edge, a weapon-based 3D fighting game, featured a medieval fantasy setting that set it apart from other games in the genre. It also included a single-player mode called Edge Master, which took an RPG-like format, rewarding players with new weapon variations that significantly impacted character gameplay. With its stunning graphics, unique audio, and exceptional character designs, such as the pirate Cervantes and the enigmatic masked Voldo, Soul Blade truly stood out. The 6 follow-up games in the Soul Calibur series further attest to the original's successful innovations. Bloody Roar 2, the sequel to the first game on the list. Bloody Roar 2 introduced numerous improvements over the original Bloody Roar in the PS1. The sequel boasted enhanced graphics, delivering a visual stunning gaming experience. In addition, it expanded the character roster, offering players more choices and enriching the storyline. Bloody Roar 2 also featured refined gameplay mechanics, resulting in smoother and more fluid combat. Furthermore, the game presented a more immersive and engaging narrative, making it a standout sequel in the series. Darkstalkers 3. Capcom's Darkstalkers, while influential, is often overshadowed in the fighting game world. Essentially a spooky, horror-themed version of Street Fighter, it features supernatural characters battling for dominance. The series stands out from its more famous counterpart thanks to its incredibly smooth and creative sprites animations. Darkstalkers also pioneered several fighting game staples such as X moves, chain combos, and air dashes before they became standard fare. As a flawless arcade port for PlayStation, Darkstalkers 3 stands as the pinnacle of the series with its extensive roster and captivating visuals. WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. In contrast to today's wrestling games, which often provide ample meme fodder, the wrestling games of the past were quite memorable. Among the finest to appear on the PS1 was WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. This game offered a remarkable level of detail and a vast selection of moves and options, ensuring nearly endless replayability. Additionally, Know Your Role was the first in the SmackDown series to let players fully personalize their own character. X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Frankly, I do have a soft spot for this game. It feels just polished, and the small character roster means I don't dawdle when choosing my fighter. The Street Fighter lineup remains consistent, featuring characters from Street Fighter 2. The X-Men characters from Marvel superheroes also return, joined by 3 fresh faces: Gambit, Sabretooth, and Rogue. Witnessing these 2 iconic franchises clash gets my geek senses buzzing. Ryu vs. Wolverine is a showdown everyone dreams of seeing. Battle Arena Toshinden. As one of the initial PS1 launch titles, Toshinden was a groundbreaking 3D fighting game that showcased weapon-wielding competence and allowed players to navigate battle arenas in all directions, making it a trailblazer in its time. With an eccentric ensemble of characters wielding an array of weapons, including swords, clubs, whips, and claws, Toshinden combined its hand-to-hand combat with dazzling special moves like fireballs. Though it may appear graphically dated as one of the oldest games in this list, its gameplay remains timeless and engaging.
You are destined to lose.
Street Fighter Alpha 3. Street Fighter Alpha 3 rejuvenated the cherished arcade fighting series with a vibrant appearance and dynamic energy. The seamless frame rates and striking art style had longtime fans swooning. For those acquainted with the series, the game seemed like an absolute dream in terms of visuals and gameplay. Additionally, it boasts a more extensive roster compared to its forerunners, featuring all the fan favorites like Ken, Ryu, Blanca, Guile, and Cammy, as well as introducing new contenders like Karen Kanzuki and Rainbow Mika. The rich single-player modes, particularly the World Tour mode, and the flawless multiplayer experience make this the ultimate Street Fighter game for the PlayStation 1.
Round fight.
Tekken 3. Although Virtua Fighter pioneered 3D fighting, it was arguably the Tekken series that made gamers appreciate the new depth that 3D playing offered in fighting games. Each Tekken installment has built upon its predecessor, with this last PS1 entry introducing sidestepping into the background and the foreground. Tekken 3 represented a significant turning point, utilizing the 3D space to add multiple layers of complexity while featuring a sizable roster of both returning and new characters. Gundam Battle Assault 2. The idea of colossal robots battling it out in an arcade-style fighting game seems like a fantasy, and Gundam Battle Assault 2 definitely delivered on that dream. While it wasn't the most intense fighting game, it was a sheer delight to play, especially for Gundam enthusiasts. Gundam Battle Assault 2 outshined its predecessor in every aspect, from gameplay to animation. It received particular acclaim for its vibrant colors, striking hand-drawn backgrounds, and enhanced gameplay and animation of the Gundams. Samurai Shodown 2. Veteran fighting game enthusiasts likely hold fond memories of the Samurai Shodown series as one of the true classics in the genre on older consoles. Specifically, Samurai Shodown 2 pushes the limits of classic PS1 era fighting games, delivering a fluid yet fast-paced experience. Samurai Shodown 2 offers numerous options that make it enjoyable even today. Characters have various movement options to gain an upper hand against their opponents, and it's the first game to introduce an offensive block or parry. Additionally, the game features incredibly responsive controls, enabling players to accurately time super moves to shatter enemy weapons and force them into unarmed combat. Street Fighter X plus Alpha. Capcom eventually succumbed to the allure of transitioning their fighters into the 3D realm, and their initial attempt was the 2D/3D fusion, Street Fighter X. When it debuted on PlayStation, it came as an upgraded version featuring more characters and elements than the original arcade version. Street Fighter X made some daring character choices, introducing eye-catching designs like Skullomania. As a fighting game, it ranked among Capcom's best during that period, and the 2D/3D style would later make a comeback with Street Fighter 4. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. A list of the best PS1 fighting games would be incomplete without the legendary Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Featuring all the characters from Mortal Kombat 1 through 3, including Kano, Rain, Cyrax, Liu Kang, Shao Kahn, and many others, the series remains timeless. These original games boast some of the most unforgettable battles ever. With over 30 characters and 30 special moves and finishers to memorize, it's a good idea to keep a notepad handy during training sessions. One of the most exciting aspects of the game is the ability to pit older versions of characters against their newer counterparts. A true blast from the past. Digimon Rumble Arena. Despite the PS1 significantly outselling its main rival, the N64, Sony's console missed out on some incredible first-party Nintendo titles that gamers still cherish. High on that list is Super Smash Bros. Interestingly, the PS1 had a similar game called Digimon Rumble Arena. While it shares gameplay similarities with Nintendo's Brawler, the game simplifies controls and reduces the number of moves per character. However, it incorporates the Digivolve mechanic from the anime, and it even features final smashes before Smash Bros. Introduced them. If the game had greater depth and supported 4 players like Smash Bros., it might have been a much more memorable game. Rival Schools, United by Fate. Have you ever wished that Street Fighter featured more students engaging in intense battles? If so, Rival Schools could be the perfect game for you. As a Capcom game that resembles a reimagined Street Fighter title, it's easy to pick up and play right away. There are plenty of intriguing characters to explore and an array of new moves to master. This game is a port of the arcade version, but it also includes a second disc with various additional features, including a mode that helps you learn new moves. Compete in tournaments or face other players in several multiplayer modes. It's a game that continually provides entertainment and is perfect for letting off steam. Tobal 2. Tobal 2, an even more intense and fast-paced successor to Tobal No. 1, is arguably one of the most thrilling fighting games available. Initially released in 1997, it was reissued in 2007 to its critical acclaim. Notably, Tobal 2 boasts the largest roster of characters among fighting games, with an astounding 200 characters to choose from. In addition to the wide range of combat options, players can fully explore arenas while engaging their opponents. Dynamic blocking and grappling mechanics capitalize on the game's environments. Moreover, the game includes extra modes such as an RPG-like quest mode, which adds a narrative aspect to its already expensive game. Warpath, Jurassic Park. 2 elements make Warpath Jurassic Park an enduring classic, duking it out as dinosaurs. This game is a rare deviation from the standard human versus human fighting game formula, letting players take control of distinct creatures. In this case, it's dinosaurs from the popular Jurassic Park series, offering a widely entertaining experience for those seeking a more laid-back fighting game. At its foundation, Warpath allows players to select from 8 dinosaurs, each boasting a unique fighting style based on their physique. Moreover, the game's arenas feature destructible objects that can inflict damage, adding an extra dimension of strategy for players who might think this game is just about button mashing against opponents.
Protect yourself!
Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. During the PS1 era, sports games often adopted an arcade-style approach rather than aiming for realism. While some games struggled with this playstyle, Midway's Ready to Rumble Round 2 excelled. The gameplay is fast-paced and accessible for gamers of any skill level, and similar to Nintendo's Punch-Out series, the game doesn't take itself too seriously. A unique aspect of this game is the inclusion of wild secrets characters. For instance, if you've ever wanted a Hillary Clinton-inspired character to box against Michael Jackson, this game makes it possible.
When are you?
Mortal Kombat 4. Mortal Kombat 4 represents a significant leap into the future for the world's most gruesome fighting game series, as it's the first installment to showcase beheadings and spine-ripping in stunning 3D. The nostalgically cheesy sprites based on real actors are replaced with striking 3D animation sets in dungeon-like environments, allowing characters to unleash even more outrageous violence upon their adversaries. This edition also introduces Goro as a playable character, which adds a thrilling experience. Iconic fighters like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Raiden return, sporting new moves and an upgraded appearance. Staying true to the series' legacy, Mortal Kombat 4 showcases inventive fatalities that will have players both chuckling and cringing at the absurd levels of violence displayed on the screen.
Fatality.
Real Bout's Fatal Fury Special. Upon first look, Real Bout Fatal Fury appears to be a traditional Fatal Fury game with its 2D sprites set against painted backgrounds. However, this sequel to Real Bout Fatal Fury showcases enhanced graphics and brings back the two-plane system. Consequently, with Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, includes the familiar Fatal Fury characters. Players can also destroy a battlefield's barrier and transition the fight to a new area. Interestingly, the absence of a complex storyline and the focus on the Real Bout make Real Bout Fatal Fury Special a straightforward yet equally enjoyable game to play. Unlike some other fighting games with outrageous character abilities, the more grounded approach to Fatal Fury's supernatural elements lends this game a more technical feel. Bushido Blade 2. In contrast to the Tobal series, Square developed Bushido Blade as the ultimate realistic one-on-one combat fighting game. Characters wield swords capable of defeating opponents with a single, well-aimed strike. Players can also switch their character's fighting style in real time, accessing various movesets. The key to success lies in selecting the right mix of fighting style, moves, and timing. Essentially, it resembles rock, paper, scissors more than a conventional fighting game. Curiously, this sequel significantly simplifies the original by eliminating the parry option and reducing the number of moves for each character. While many fans were frustrated by this, some, including ourselves, believe that simplicity has its merits. With fewer complexities, fights progress more quickly, leading to more rounds per hour. This results in less downtime when hosting a retro gaming party with friends. Inuyasha, a feudal fairy tale. Similar to numerous other anime series during the period of gaming, Inuyasha ventured into the fighting game genre to captivate gamers. Launched towards the end of the PS1's life cycle in 2003, this game features a 2D fighting environment, showcasing striking attacks and impressive sprites. While it doesn't quite match Street Fighter in terms of balance or depth, it offers a decent fighting system for fans of the manga and TV series. Given the limited gaming choices available for enthusiasts of the franchise, this title is a satisfactory option. Capcom vs SNK Pro. During the 90s, Capcom and SNK were battling for supremacy in the fighting game genre across arcades and home consoles. However, the two companies managed to set aside their differences and determine the true winner in the most fitting setting: a fighting game. For fans of the genre, the Capcom vs SNK games were nothing short of a dream come true. With a roster of 30 characters drawn from the vast array of personalities that both companies had to offer. The game may not have boasted an exhaustive list, but there was still plenty to engage players. Although considered the least impressive version of the game, with the original arcade title and a Dreamcast port also available, it remains highly enjoyable despite the choppier animation and somewhat less striking, yet still beautiful pixel art. Psychic Force. Having a fighting game that features characters with incredible abilities is one thing, but it's entirely different when the game also incorporates these abilities within highly interactive environments. Psychic Force, a 1995 3D fighter, stands out by merging traditional fighting game elements with a roster of characters possessing psychic powers. In Psychic Force, battles unfold in open cubic spaces where characters float in mid-air. These spaces are enclosed by force fields, causing characters to take damage whenever they suffer wall attacks. The game also introduces intriguing mechanics such as Psycho Gauge that boosts special attacks, evasion barriers that protect against wall attacks, and swift move dashes. While Psychic Force may not be as fast-paced as Arc System titles like Guilty Gear, the innovative float-based mechanics ensure its exciting and enduring appeal. X-Men Mutant Academy. Although some fans favored the follow-up, the original X-Men Mutant Academy and its sequel are remarkably similar, with the main differences being a smaller roster of fighters in the first game. This title was a solid fighting game on the PlayStation, earning praise for its gameplay, graphics, and enemy AI. However, it faced criticism for its controls being strikingly similar to those in Street Fighter. X-Men Mutant Academy 2. X-Men Mutant Academy 2, similar to the first game, let players pick from a range of beloved X-Men characters for a one-on-one battle. While the gameplay wasn't groundbreaking, controlling our favorite characters was definitely enjoyable. Fans appreciated the expanded character roster and enhanced graphics compared to the original. However, the challenging combo execution and limited selection of modes detracted from the game's overall charm. We've taken a trip down memory lane, revisiting the golden era of fighting games on the PS1. While the graphics may be dated, the gameplay and some of these gems remain enjoyable even today. These PS1 classics not only bring back a sense of nostalgia, but also reminds us of the solid foundation upon which the fighting game genre was built. If you're curious about some other gems on the PS1, then you can check out our Ultimate PS1 Platformers video and Ultimate PS1 JRPGs video.